Okay. Last session we have seen how the cyclic structure of glucose was established by using the Hayward formula, and we also have become aware of writing the Fischer formula, and then followed by some simple reactions to establish the cyclic structure of glucose. So I also told you about some reactions, simple 6 reactions based on which we established the glucose structure. And now in this session, we are going to see the configuration of glucose. I already told you what a configuration is, so let me share the screen and explain to you. So this is what I am sharing today. Right. So configuration of glucose. That's it. Oh, but first let me tell you what a configuration is. So I already told you configuration describes orientation of groups, orientation of groups in space. That is a 3D molecule. How, if you see a 3D molecule, how the groups are used. Please mute your mic. Okay. So if you have, see how many groups it is attached to. Let me say it is A, B, C, and D. What is the angle? What is the diagonal angle? What is the bond length? Like this, to be established by means of the configuration. The same configuration we also speak for our mobile phones also. For example, what is the configuration of your mobile phone means you have to explain about its processor. Let's say, for example, a Snapdragon 800 processor, then the RAM that is there, and then the screen pixels, screen size, and characteristics. Okay, so that goes into what is called as the configuration. Okay. Here also the same thing happens in terms of the configuration of glucose. We'll first choose what is the glucose. So we have established it has got a 6 carbon atom. It's a 6 carbon atom compound with a open chain having aldehyde group at the center. So here is what we have general formula H OH H OH H OH. So I'll write OH here and H at the bottom. So this is the general formula that we have established for the glucose. So I told you that there are 2 types of configuration we established. One is a relative configuration. The other one is absolute configuration. Relative configuration means it is related to something. I already told you what is the relative configuration. That is, you relate to some property. You relate this to some property. Okay. For example, you can take relative time. Okay, relative time. How do we define time? We define time from sunrise and then from sunrise to mid-afternoon to sunset. This we take as 6 a.m. just for example, and this we take as 6 p.m. So within this we have 12 hours. We divide them. Okay. So our time is relative to sun. Our time is relative to sun. Okay. Suppose if you follow the sun, if sun doesn't set, you don't get old. That is the concept. If you follow the sun, there is no sunset in your journey, and you don't get any night. If you don't get any night, you don't have a day. If you don't have a day, you don't have a month. If you don't have a month, you don't have a year. So you don't age from 19 to 20, 20 to 21, like that. You don't. It's a theoretical thing that is always talked about by Einstein's theory of relativity. If you study in higher classes in MSc and quantum chemistry, so that is a relative time. But the absolute one is something which is from the beginning. From the beginning, we aren't going to measure it, but it's a bit tough on calculation. Okay, see for example, when the universe started, some 3.4 billion years ago it started. Or you can look at the atomic clock. It's very accurate. Okay, if it is very accurate, you can measure from that. So you will call it as absolute. Absolute not perfect. There is no change at all. 10 means 10, 10, 15, 10, 12, no, nothing. Relative means you can change it related to your things. Okay. So here we go. Now, I have already told you how we have first established the relative configuration of this glucose. So we have taken the relative example of glyceraldehyde, in which we have written glyceraldehyde as this. Okay, this is given D-glyceraldehyde, which rotates the plane polarized right towards light. Therefore, it is given plus sign. Okay, so in this we have got OH on the right. Okay, suppose if you place a mirror here, you will get a image like this: CHOH, COH, and H here, CH2H. Okay, now you get OH on the left. Therefore, this will be L minus glyceraldehyde. L minus glyceraldehyde. So what we do is we draw the structure of glucose. Like for example, I'll just put a simple structure of glucose here. 1, 2, 3, 4, CS2OH. Okay, so I'll have one simple structure of glucose like this: OH, OH. Here I'll have H, 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 H. Okay. Now, if you ask me what type of glucose is this, I'll just take the carbon atom that is next to CH2OH. 1, 2. Why? Here also I am just taking this as 1 and this as 2. Second carbon atom OH right layer. Okay. So second carbon atom OH is on the right side. We don't look into this for relative configuration. For relative configuration, we don't look into this, we just look into this one. So this product, I'll call it as the D-glucose. Note that I am not using plus or minus. Plus or minus in use. Why? Because what has happened is glucose is able to give so many isomers. Glucose is able to give many isomers based on asymmetric carbon atom. Okay, if you have one asymmetric carbon atom, that is 4 different groups: H, OH, CH2OH, and here maybe something like, okay, some different group I can attach, CH3. Okay, so this is a carbon atom in which 4 different groups are attached. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different groups are attached. Therefore, this is asymmetric carbon atom. Asymmetric carbon atom. What it will do is, it will rotate plane polarized light. Plane polarized light towards left or right. Plane polarized light towards left or right. If it is rotated to the right, then it is given as plus symbol. If it is rotated to the left, then it is given as minus. Okay, just let me throw some light on what is being the plane polarized light. Ordinary light is, it obeys Fleming's left-hand rule. Fleming's left-hand rule. What is that? If you have a electromagnetic radiation going in this direction, the electric field will be oscillating in the perpendicular direction, and the magnetic field will be acting in another perpendicular direction. Okay, that is, this and this will be 90 degree, this and this will be 90 degree, and this will also be 90 degree. Okay, 3 different directions which we define by means of a coordinates. That is, if you have electromagnetic radiation going in this direction, electrical field will be going in this direction, this will be 90 degree, magnetic field will be going in this 90 degree direction, up. Or side. Okay, so that is the property of the ordinary light. So what these people do in plane polarized light, merge the oscillating fields. Merge the oscillating fields. What is the oscillating field? Merging the oscillating field means, you have got this as the magnetic field and this as the electric field, right? Both these will be forced to remain in one plane. Fleming's left-hand rule will be like this. Okay, if this is the propagation of magnetic field, electromagnetic radiation, this finger is representing the electric field and this finger represents the magnetic field. Now what they do is, they will merge these two in a single plane. ரெண்டுமே ஒரே பிளேன்ல merge பண்ணிடும். Okay, so merged light will be called as the plane polarized light. What is the property of this plane polarized light? It is able to identify some, it is able to, you are able to polarize it, you are able to destroy certain properties of light. So we use polarimeter to measure the plane polarization, to measure PPL rotation. Okay, this is very important because we measure the sugars polarization, okay, by means of this polarimeter only. Therefore, plane polarized light, production of plane polarized light in the instrument is also very important, and we want to know what isomer it is. Okay, isomer, epimer, monomer. I have just been able to explain all these things, the same things. Then you have enantiomer, then you have diastereoisomer, that is, these are all the isomers. So if you have n asymmetric carbon atoms, you can have 2 power n isomers. இப்போ குளுக்கோஸ்ல 6 கார்பன் ஆட்டம்ஸ் இருக்கு. ஓகே, ஸோ ஐசோமர்ஸ்னா 2 பவர் 6 இருக்கலாம். 2 பவர் 6 நீங்க போடும்போது சப்போஸ் இது 6 கார்பன் ஆட்டம் ஐசோமர் இல்லை, 2 பவர் 6னா 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2. So 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 isomers possible. Okay, so I'm just taking some isomers. I mean, that is, I just put how you can just see these isomers. Just a minute. Copy. You can see the different isomers that I'm going to explain now. The last row. Can you see the last row? So the last row has got so many isomers, right? Start, you call this. These are all glucose only. And as I told you that the number of asymmetric carbon atoms define the number of isomers. So here you can see allose is one isomer, maltose is another one, glucose, mannose, and then D minus glucose, idose, galactose, like that you have. What has happened here? You can see that the carbon hydroxyl groups are on the same side. Here it has changed, and here it has changed, and here both have changed, and here both have, I mean, been diverted. So here they appear like a mirror image. Okay, so like that you can have 32 isomers. Now the purpose of this diagram is to explain the establishment of the configuration of the glucose, how it has been established. Okay. So it is the most common example that I told you is the glyceraldehyde. So we have taken glyceraldehyde in which OH is on the right. Okay. How many number of carbon atoms are there? 1, 2, and 3. 3 carbon atoms are there. Next is the production of erythrose, in which you have symmetric carbon atoms being introduced. This is causing some problem. Computer number most of the times. Okay. So here you can see that I am converting, I am adding just one HOH, CHOH here. Okay, what is it? Therefore, I am getting 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, and 4. Therefore, I am able to introduce. I am able to introduce that one extra carbon atom. Okay, can you see that? I am able to introduce one extra carbon atom. Just to paste in here. Just wait. Okay, so I'm just adding one CHOH here. CHOH here. I'm getting 1, 2, 3, and 4 carbon atoms. Here I have only 3 carbon atoms. Here I have 4 carbon atoms. So one extra CHOH is added. This process we are going to see later in the next class. We call this the chain lengthening process. Chain lengthening process. preparation of a higher homologue. I already explained how higher homologue is obtained using HCN, okay, in the first 2 or 3 classes itself. So you can see that there is an introduction of a carbon atom, which is going to give an isomer in which OH is on the right and OH is on the left. Okay, so here it is on the right, here it is on the left. So you get isomer 1, you get isomer 2, and that is D minus, and this one is D minus. This is erythrose and this is threose. So both are having D configuration. Why? OH is on the right. Okay, and both are capable of reducing. I mean, rotating the light in the negative direction, the opposite direction. So you call it as you give it as a minus. Okay. Now both are almost the same compounds. Only one thing is OH is on the right side and H is on the left side. There you can see the difference there. Okay. Now this is the step of going from 3 carbon to 4 carbon. Now I'll go to the next isomer, which is called as the isomer. Again, I am adding one more CHOH here. CHOH here. So I am getting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 carbon atoms. So it started from 3 carbon atoms. We reached 4 carbon atoms. Now we have reached 5 carbon atoms. So we are going on adding CHOH here. So how many isomers I am getting? Because of the symmetric carbon atoms, all the 3 OH on the same side, only 2 OH on the right side, 2 OH on the right side, but alternatively, only OH, 1 OH on the right side. So you can see all of them are D. All of them are D sugars only. So means now all have OH on the right side only. All have OH on the right side. This is the isomer. Now the conclusion is that if you have introduced a carbon atom which is asymmetric in nature, asymmetric carbon atom we always define by C star, we conclude that the asymmetric carbon atom will give rise to 2 or 3 isomers. Okay, so if the configuration of the glucose is like that, this one with OH on the right side, it will give all 4 sugars. All 4 sugars means ribose, arabinose, xylose, and lysose, all 4 sugars. Okay. Then we measure the plane polarized light activity, and we measure the plane polarized activity and establish whether it is D minus and D plus. Okay. On coming from D minus erythrose to this, we get this product, arabinose. We get this product. Therefore, we establish we do not get this product, we do not get this product, we do not get this product. So we have to write on synthesis of, on preparation of higher homologue of 5 carbon atom from 4 carbon atom, we get D-arabinose. D-arabinose further higher homologue preparation will give rise to D-glucose. This is the structure. Okay, in which you have OH on the right side and another OH here, that is another OH here, H here, H here. So yes, new CHOH has been introduced in this fusion, and it is not affecting our electrical property. Suppose if we had this, we will have an isomer like this, but we are not getting this. Suppose if we had this, we will have another mirror image like this, we are not getting like this. Suppose we have another isomer, we are not getting this. We get only this. So you have to write that upon preparation of the higher homologue, that is the higher homologue of the glucose, from arabinose, which is a 5-membered ring, which is a penta-aldose, okay, gives rise to hexa. It doesn't give any other. These are all possible isomers, which is not given. How do we measure? We measure it by means of some spectroscopic techniques and some lab tests. So we get only this product. Okay. So once you get this product, you have to write that because we have C double bond O H and COH H COH H. Okay. Established configuration of glucose. Established configuration of glucose. Okay. I'll just paste one simple uh, text here. So it is saying I'm running out of time. Right here. You can take this down. This is the important point I have typed. Ribose and arabinose, two well-known pentose. Okay, pentose means five-membered. They give both erythrose and rep degradation. I will explain rep degradation and these things later. The ரெண்டுமே வந்து I will explain later. Killian is Fischer synthesis, rep degradation I will explain later. So ribose and arabinose both are five-membered carbons. Both give erythrose and both give erythrose and rep degradation. As expected, Killian-Fischer synthesis applied to erythrase give a mixture of ribose and arabinose. Why? Because இது ரெண்டு ஏன் வருது? Because this newly introduced carbon atom is asymmetric in nature. Okay, and then the next point is oxidation of erythrose give an achiral. Achiral means opposite to chiral. இது வந்து chiral. Chiralனா என்ன சொல்லிருக்கேன்? Chiral means all four carbon atoms are different in nature. Oxidation of erythrose give an achiral, which is optically inactive alderic acid. This defines the configuration of erythrose. Erythrose established. Okay. Then oxidation of ribose gave an achiral alderic acid again. This defines the configuration of both ribose and arabinose. Here you have erythrose, here you have arabinose. All these structures I have already given in the previous slide. I'll just make that as the thumbnail of my presentation. Then shortening of glucose gave arabinose and Killian-Fischer synthesis applied to arabinose gave a mixture of glucose and mannose. Fourth point. That is, this is a reverse reaction. Reverse. Suppose, in chemistry, we always have to establish by means of going forward and backward. Okay. Suppose if you go backward, if you don't get back those products, then your structure is not wrong and your configuration is not properly established. Okay. Glucose and mannose are therefore epimers at C2. It's a very important point here. Glucose and mannose are epimers. Epimers na onno idu kediyadu. It is just an isomer. Okay. What is an isomer? In which you have OH on the right side. So you have to establish that it is an epimer at C2 only. A fact confirmed with the common product from Bossazon reaction. We have already seen this. A pair of structures for these epimers can be written, but which is glucose, which is mannose means you have to establish which is glucose and which is mannose. In order to determine which of these epimers are glucose, we have to use the C2 symmetry at the four carbon atoms. That is, I'll just finish off here. Here it is. Here you can see. So if your carbon 2 is, we have to find out which C2 is this one. This one is C2. This one is C2. A pair of C2 epimers, one is glucose and the other one is mannose. Okay. In order to determine which of these was glucose, we have to use the C2 symmetry. That is the 4 carbon. That is the 4 carbon acid symmetry. They is shown in the following. That is the diagram where C2 axis passes through the projection formula. That is the projection formula means, just you can see this one axis, or you can draw a line across this. Here you can draw a line across this. இப்படி பாத்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு 2 OH லெஃப்ட்ல இருக்கு, 2 OH ரைட்ல இருக்கு. So this is, there is no symmetry here and there is C2 symmetry here. So if you have C2 symmetry, then you can get a different isomer. So we are getting 2 isomers. Isomers இல்லைன்னா இந்த மாதிரி இருக்கலாம். Isomers இருக்குது அப்படின்னா C2 symmetry இருக்குது அப்படின்னு அர்த்தம். Okay. So and therefore we can establish that by looking at the second aldehyde excess, the end group exchange of that is the end group analysis. That is, end group means we have to find out in the second carbon atom is lacking what L minus glucose lacked, and exchange of relationship with B plus glucose. That is the aldaric acid. I mean, the oxidation of B plus glucose give aldaric acid. Okay, so I'll just summarize this. It's nothing to be worried about. We remember these 6 points. Okay, right? The configuration of glucose. It's getting confused, so I'm not dragging it again. Okay, what you have to write is you are taking first glyceraldehyde, 3 carbon atom. Okay, lengthening it into 4 carbon atoms, and then lengthening it to 5 carbon atoms. Okay, if you come to 5 carbon atoms, mention it as arabinose. Don't forget this. Okay, mention it as arabinose. So after you write arabinose, write these points: oxidation of triose give an achiral optically active compound and all these things. This I'll send again. This is overlapped and it is causing problem. Okay, so glucose and mannose, that is, we lengthen the chain, then we shorten the chain, we get back the same products. Okay, so finally we have to conclude that the newly introduced carbon atom is symmetric or asymmetric, and then we have to draw this structure and suggest that there is a important point is there is a plane of symmetry here. Plane of symmetry here. Therefore, you get 2 isomers. Therefore, you get 2 isomers. And the one that we measure is that in which OH is on the right side. Therefore, we establish it as a P plus glucose. Automatically right out. Something is being automatically written. I'm stopping it here. So if you have any doubts, you can just write me in the group or message me. I'll just